Hey guys, it's Achilles here. So I make another banter video. Sorry I haven't been making any other videos lately, but just really don't know what I want to make videos of. So it's been a little bit of a struggle for me. I kind of just like talking about the game to people and like hearing what people have to say back, what people think. Where we agree, where we disagree. I think that's fun conversation for me personally. Sorry if you guys don't feel that way, but anyways, I thought I would talk about something that's kind of near and dear to me. That's dungeoneering. Dungeoneering is a skill I kind of... It's a love-hate skill. It's a skill I like doing, but I'm at a point now where there's really not much I can gain from it. I mean, if you look in the rewards, there really is not much I can get back from it now. There's a couple things I would like to get, but there's nothing that I think is worth the time. Like, I would love a chaotic shield, for one. And, like, I would like a chaotic staff, however, that's 180,000 tokens. That'd take me like a week if I went hard for it. Well, maybe not, since I've got 99 dungeoneering now and I can do war 4s. But I just don't see the point in grinding that long. I'd rather just wait until I can afford to Virtus. But now that I've mentioned this chaotic weaponry, I thought I would talk about something else. So you see see all these chaotics, right? And I've talked to a couple people about this, and I've gotten mixed feedback from. And I kind of want to see what you guys think. Obviously, I'm going to give my take to it. Now, what am I talking about? Some of you may be asking. I'm talking about getting what's it called? Another tier of dungeoneering weapons. As you can see, we have chaotics. We also have gravite. Gravite is pretty much worthless unless you're free to play. If you're free to play, gravite's the shit. Enjoy your gravite. But this kind of touches a nerve for me because, like, another higher tier now. Now, what do they mean by higher tier? Like a tier 85 dungeoneering weapon? An upgrade to chaotics to get to a tier 85 weapon? Or a whole new set of tiers? I've had people tell me that they would like a tier 95 weaponry added into the game through dungeoneering. Now, for those of you who don't know, and I'm assuming most people do, because this is fairly new. Dungeoneering's like 2010. Most people, I would say most people have played since 2010. Now, I know, that's not everybody, but we have new players every day, obviously, but so dungeoneering weapons, when they first were released, they were by far the most powerful weapons ever made, like hands down. There is no contest about that. A chaotic rapier, by far the strongest weapon in the game, I would say. Now, some of you might be saying, well, what about chaotic maul, armadillo godsword? I'm talking just a regular one-handed weapon for a consistent DPS. You just keep poking 400, 400, 400 with chaotic rapier. Now, obviously, you could hit harder with like a chaotic maul, maybe even a chaotic longsword. But the thing is, a chaotic longsword does not hit hard. Well, it hit hard, however, its DPS was usually inferior to the rapier because it's the fastest. Now, this is before Evolution to Combat This is before I'm talking about, like, Maul could hit harder, but I would willingly say the Chaotic Rapier gave you the most DPS, especially with coupled with a Dragon Defender. And then EOC came along, and the Maul was the strongest weapon then, and the Chaotic Staff. Now, the crossbows were not that good, or the Chaotic Crossbow, I will say, was not that good when the Evolution of Combat came out, obviously because dual wielding was not right in Evolution of Combat for a while. It took Jagswall to fix it. Honestly, thought that was the original intent on Drygor weaponry was just to make it a little faster, or not to make faster. I don't know what I'm talking about here, but to make dual wielding an option. Like, okay, you have the two-handed Chaotic Maul, which is the best weapon now. Now we have this tier 90 weapons, but they're a dual wield. Will that dual wield be good enough for a boss such as Calphite King instead of a C Maul? Now, obviously, Drygors are fantastic. Now, matter of fact, I think I even have, I have my Drygors with me. But for a while, they weren't fixed. Until before Calphite King came out, these chaotic weapons were the best of their time. They had a reign of terror. Is the life cycle of Daemonheim rewards over? Are these weapons never going to be what they are? Because if you ask me, for the most part, I'm concerned, I think they're basically irrelevant. It's not just because of tier 90 armor, I think it's just because there's other weaponry that I would suggest is superior outside the tier 90 weapons. Now, obviously, I'm talking like Death Lotus darts, Sea Singers weapons, I don't know what the hell they're called. And now I would say the melee chaotics are a little different. Because outside Drygors, they're still the second best. However, their DPS doesn't even compare to Drygor. And considering how affordable Drygors are nowadays, I won't tell me the price, but dual Drygors will run you about 50 mil nowadays. Which I know to some of you that might sound like a ton, but I personally don't think it's that bad. Especially when you consider how much Ascensions cost, seismic or noxious weapons. I don't know, it's just something tough for me. To say, yeah, chaotics are still relevant, because especially in higher level PVM, because the chaotics are good, when you're first starting out and you're bossing, like, say, you're really just starting to get into bossing, okay, now you're start off with, like, Bandage General. Melee chaotics or chaotic staff will be more than adequate for that boss. But other than that, they're worthless. They're not worthless, but they're honestly not, they're adequate to get through kills, but to get efficient kills, to get fast kills, to get on many teams, I don't believe chaotics are the way to go. And now, I'm going to stop walking around. Now, here's what I'm talking about. A new tier of weapons. Should we just let Dungeoneering die? I mean, Dungeoneering has taken a massive toll due to the fact chaotics aren't what they used to be. Now, if we added a new tier of Dungeoneering weapons, say we made, let's just say tier 90. Tier 90 Dungeoneering weapons are free weapons, they're going to cost you time, but you're not going to have to pay a single GP. I think that would revive Dungeoneering, but the real question, I think, is do we want top tier weapons for our game? Should they be boss drops? Should they come from a skill or a mini game of some sorts? Or should they be, or should they just come from, or should they come from both ways? Like, hey, maybe we can have dungeoneering awards, we can have bosses, I mean, we can have everything. We'll have Inventor. I heard that we're going to get tier 90 weapons for Inventor, but it's going to take tier 90 weapons. From what I understand, it's going to take tier 90 weapons to make different tier 90 weapons through Inventor. I mean, I'm hoping we don't get like 95 from Inventor, and this is kind of my point. I kind of have mixed feelings, because part of me wants to say, yeah, I'd be happy if they made a higher tier dungeoneering weapons. You know, that kind of would bring some value back to doing dungeoneering. Then part of me saying, I think, you know, since you're always doing combat, dungeoneering or top tier weapons should come from combat. I mean, you know, I keep saying dungeoneering rewards are free. However, I don't think they're free in an economical sense. Now you might ask me why. I'll just say this. Dungeoneering weapons cost a lot of time, especially if you're a lower dungeoneering level. I mean, now if you're 120, it doesn't cost you that much, but like I'm saying, you know, you can get chaotics in like 2 days. I think you can get like a full chaotic in like a day if you're like 120 dungeoneering, you know, and you get good teams. Needless to say, I hope, like, you know, they do something with dungeoneering that really isn't like game changing. I think they've done a good job of that, adding things over the time like Herbicide, Bone Crusher, Demon Horn Necklace, this thing, the Charming Imp. You know, I think they've added a lot of good things, but I would be fine, you know, if they added like tier 85. I would be all on board for that. Like another 50,000 tokens to upgrade a current chaotic. Like I could upgrade my chaotic sphere to a superior or whatever it'd be called, chaotic sphere. That would have better stats, or you can buy the chaotic, or you can spend more time and getting more tokens and invest in these new tier 95, tier 85s. I would be happy with that as well. But I really don't. Tier 90s, I would be a little iffy on that. Tier 95s, I would be disappointed in Jagex if they made tier 95 dungeoneering weapons, because I mean, there is one good thing it would do for me, and that would be, personally, I would start doing dungeoneering. And I like dungeoneering. I think it's a fun skill. It's just, you know, I don't have like 12 plus hours a day to play, so I really don't have a point to train the skill anymore. Now I could get 120. That is true, but if I were to train skills with my time, I'd want to get all these ones that don't read 99 to 99. But I mostly like to go out and make money. From PVMing, maybe I'll play some pest control. And dungeoneering, I just don't have time for it, you know. Eventually I'll get 99 everything else, I'll get a max cape, and then I'll go for 120, but until then, it's not going to happen. Anyway, guys, happy scaping as always. That's kind of my rant for the day. And